Hey PC gamers, and welcome back to the PC Gamer Chat Log. I am Lauren Morton and I'm here with Molly.
Hey, I'm Mollie Taylor.
And we're going to be talking this week with our hardware writer Katie Wickens about The Sims 5, or the game that's not going to be called The Sims 5, but definitely is The Sims 5, the next big Sims game. We've gotten a little bit of information about it so far. There have been some quiet beta tests going on, so we're getting together with Katie to talk about what we actually want from the next big Sims game, which things need to be in base game this time, things like that. So,
yeah.
Before we get to Katie, Molly, what did you do last week? This week?
Yeah, because we're not here this week, are we? We're
not actually here right now.
Yeah, conveniently, both of us have had the same week off. I will be very much relaxing, and you will not be relaxing. You will be
I'm just gonna be away. Yeah,
you're just gonna be away. I am relaxing, but I've been playing. It's a Lovecraftian fishing horror.
Oh, that's right. You've been playing Dredge. You talked about this like first thing this year.
Yeah, so I saw Dredge at Gamescom last year, really vibed with it, and then ever since then I've been keeping a really close eye on it, and I was fortunate enough to do the review for it, which you can go and read right now. And hopefully when this podcast is out, I will have been playing the shit out of the Diablo 4 open beta and hopefully trying out Druid and Necromancer. So especially Druid though, because I like my I think as we've established in this podcast, I like my big muscly women video game characters. So I will most certainly be playing Druid. So yeah, how about you, Lauren?
Yeah, I would love to say that I just got finished playing like a bunch of Necromancer because that's what I planned to do this weekend and would have been talking about. But since we're not here right now, we are about an hour or 2.5 hours away from me playing a Necromancer. So womp womp to that. But I would say this past week, I have hardly done any gaming. But what I did do was download Sunhaven, which is a like Stardew but fantasy farm life sim game. It full launched earlier this month. It was in early access for a long time, and I'd sort of been keeping an eye on it, but I didn't actually ever download and play it, unfortunately. So I've done that now, and hopefully I will get to do that in the near future. So I haven't actually played anything except for thinking about Diablo a lot this past week. But
yeah,
that's all I downloaded Sunhaven.
Oh, nice. You'll have to let me know. Let me know how that is, because we're both big Stardew fans here. So I definitely want to know what that's like.
It looks nifty. It involves like magic spells, I think, and like maybe instead of or in addition to tools. Like there's like a rain cloud that you bring in to water your crops, and like I think you've got like earth spells that like till for you instead of running around with your hoe and doing every single spot potentially. So
that's kind of cute.
I'm interested, and there's dragons. I think there's dragons. So yeah. Unofficial recommendation for Sunhaven. I haven't played it yet. I just think it looks neat, so hopefully
it sounds cool. Yeah, it sounds real cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So that's what we got up to last week, this week, the week when we're not actually here. But now we're going to head over to talk to Katie about The Sims 5.
Enjoy. Bye.
1 second to go. You got it in. Okay, so we are here on Chatlog today to talk with Katie about The Sims 5. I'm here, Mollie's here. Katie, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hello, I'm Katie. I do hardware stuff, and I've been playing The Sims since I was like this big.
Yeah, how I was like 6. How big are you when you're 6? Yay? I don't know.
I was not a large child.
I think it's relative, right?
I was a small child.
You were a very tall child.
I was an elbow height child. That's how I measure it, because I remember my mum hitting me in the face a lot accidentally.
Okay, so we're here to talk today about the game that is not going to be called The Sims 5, as far as we know. We are referring to it that way because it is the next mainline Sims game that EA has been referring to as next generation Sims. And then they told us it's like internal project name, which is Project Renee. So that's how they keep referring to it. Eventually, presumably, they are going to give it a real name that is neither of those names. But for our purposes, to keep things easy, it's The Sims 5 for now. And for full disclosure, the three of us have sat down and talked about The Sims 5 once before, and then EA came out and gave us more information about it. So we're here back again to talk about The Sims 5 one more time, for real this time, now that we actually know a little bit more about it than when we were very first speculating. So we'll get into that, what we know, what we don't know, what we demand, what we want from Sims 5. But first, what kind of Sims player are both of you? Like, what mode do you play? What's your very favorite stuff?
Oh, stuff. I love stuff. Stuff is great.
Are you a stuff pack girl?
I am a stuff girl. When I was young, when it was like The Sims 2, I loved doing create a sim. I would never do build by stuff. I would always do create a sim, and I would almost exclusively just play through university. And then when apartment life came out, I would play through apartment life. And then as I've grown up, I really do not like create a sim that much anymore because it stresses me out so bad. What I do love is I love build by. Build by is my entire life now. Like it's so good. Like I don't play a lot of The Sims at the minute. I think I've become a little just like tired of it right now. But whenever I go and play The Sims, I just always end up picking a lot and decorating it. Like the actual like exterior creation, I'm not very good at. The decorating, I love. It's my favorite. I love clutter. I love stuff. Just throwing everything into a space and making it look like where I would want to live, or where I think someone would have lived in like the 90s. I did like a 90s apartment recently, and that one made my heart happy. So yeah, I'm a build by girl.
Nice. Samesies. I am very much, I spend most of my time on build by, and I cannot get myself off of it, so I've had to go off and find challenges like Not So Berry to kind of force me not to just spend all my time in build by, because like then I have to go, I have segments of like build by, play a little bit, earn some money, then go straight back to build by and redo everything in a different color. But yeah, I think that's my main thing, like making houses. I got obsessed with making gardens at one point, and I was making like you know like swirly pathways and stuff. That was me.
That's so cute.
I was like, I'm gonna be a garden designer. It's gonna be amazing.
Exterior is so difficult. I've never been good at exteriors.
Mm-hmm. Me neither.
I have to watch so many different creators do their exterior decorating to like get ideas for how to make stuff look cute and not just like square.
My brain does not work in like outdoor areas. It's like indoors it's fine. Outdoors, the minute you try and get me to put like a bush down, I put a bush down, I'm like, that looks stupid. There's a stupid bush and I don't like it. And also, I've been calling it build by. Is it still called build by? I think it's just called build mode now, right? Is it like build mode and then like I never know if it's live or live mode. I always call it live mode.
Oh my god. I've never thought about that.
Live mode, and is it live or live? Is it a command, an imperative, or like action? I think maybe in one of the earlier games it was like a clapboard, like movies, the symbol for it. I think. I could be making that up. It's been so long since I was a kid playing like the original Sims, but maybe that's why I call it live mode.
It's definitely live mode, right?
Live. I swear, I always say live mode. I'm thinking about it now, and now I can't think what I usually call it. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Which either is acceptable. This is like my spatula problem. Did you know there's two kinds of spatulas?
What?
There's a stirring spatula and a flipping spatula.
What's the difference?
One's called slice.
They're two different things, and they're both called spatulas, and you have to know based on context clues which kind of spatula you're talking about. You know what I mean? Anyway, that has nothing to do with this.
I hope they give us spatulas.
That's a personal bugbear of mine, is the spatula problem. Okay, so we have no live or live mode defenders here today. I am also a build and buy mode person. I have always been that way. I like making houses. I spent my childhood making weird houses, making, you make as big of a mansion as you possibly can. And then you try to fill it. You try to give each room a purpose, but you're a child and you don't know how many purposes for rooms there are. So one of them in a mansion for me would always be the grand piano room. It's just a room where a grand piano goes because that's the purpose of one whole room in a mansion for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I love build mode. My attention is so short for live mode or create a sim. I get so weary of making so many outfits that you have to make now for each sim. And yeah, I just love decorating. I'll make a very brief sim and then slap them in a house and then be like, okay, now I will build a house around this person, or I will like go out in like the neighborhoods, various places I've lived around town and like take pictures of houses that I'm like, oh, I could do that in the Sims for sure. And I try to recreate it in the Sims. So I'm definitely a build mode lady for sure as well.
I'm glad that we're all the best type of Sims player.
Yeah,
and together,
acceptable type of Sims player.
Together we can make one fully functioning household as well, right? I'll do the garden. Yeah.
I'll do the clutter. I'll do all the bullshit that, like, I like making it look lived in. I think that's my favorite thing, is you put all the basics down, right? But then you make it look like someone actually lives there. That's my favorite part. All the little finishing touches. I could do that bit.
I'll make sure we have a grand piano room. That's my whole job.
Yes.
That is
the most important job.
So The Sims 5 is still years away. We have been assured it is years in the future. And the things we know about it right now are a little few and far between. EA did the Behind the Sims Summit back in October 2022, I believe is when that happened, which is when we found out that they were going to be referring to it as Project Renee. It's when they showed mobile and PC cross-play and cross-saves. So you'll be able to take your own saves from PC to mobile and back again, do some things on one device, other things on another device. And also we know there's going to be cross-platform multiplayer too. And at that time, we were unsure what the multiplayer was going to be. They were very vague about it. They call it like next generation creative platform, like shared cloud world, lots of very aspirational words and not a lot of concrete. But they have since then told us that it's not an MMO. This is not The Sims Online. But they have shown us a bit of video with people editing the same space in build buy mode at the same time, which it looked a little bit like Prop Hunt, like a lamp running across the floor.
I don't want that. If that
You're not for multiplayer?
If that's going to be what it is, I don't want it. Don't give it to me.
It's both. They've said it's like single player, or you can like invite people. So you're going to invite no people ever, Molly.
Nobody.
Never touch my house.
No, like, imagine someone just coming into your living room and going, that sofa's shit. And then they just delete it and put a new one. No, it's like, I can't even be in a Google Doc when someone else is in it, like editing like my work, like things that I've written. I can't be there when someone else is doing that. Like, I can't do it for The Sims either. It's not for me. Like, I'm sure some people will enjoy it. I feel like I would just get very protective and very argumentative.
Unless you had someone build like the entire house and then you each had like your own little rooms to decorate, maybe I could get on with that. But yeah, I think it's going to have the same problem with me. Like, you think that your bestie is your bestie until they ruin your house with farmhouse furniture instead of mid-century.
How dare you?
That is the wrong brown, Ella. What are you doing?
They just put down a rug that you really hate, and then you put down a rug they really hate, and you're just there like deleting each other's stuff and replacing it. I can't do that.
I did wonder, okay, I'm with you. I think very slowly while I'm building, so having anybody witness that process would probably be horrifying. But I did think, Katie, when you and I talked briefly, I was like, what about like speed build competitions though? Because I love watching creators build. imagine the speed build competitions live at the same time, watching people do like either like 2 sides of a townhouse or like, I don't know. I was just like, oh, that would be so cool to watch. Maybe multiplayer is not for me to play, but it might be for me to watch.
But imagine
perhaps?
the content. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I think that could be fun for sure. Like, I don't know if it spills over into like a gameplay aspect as well. I don't know how into that I would be, because there's that mod for The Sims 4, right, where you can play co-op with somebody. I don't know. I feel like The Sims is a very solitary experience for me. It's like in my pajamas, in a blanket, in a dark room, like just crafting variations of people that I kind of know. But it's not like the exact people, but you know, it might be like an old boyfriend or like people that I've like had minimal interaction with, and just
Mollie's secrets are all coming out now.
Mollie's the makes her crush in Sims girl. Just kidding. That's literally everybody that plays The Sims. That's how everyone started The Sims as a child, like a 10 or 12-year-old. Yes, you all made your crushes in The Sims. Shut up, don't lie.
Make your real crushes and your fictional crushes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make little babies in The Sims, and then that's it. And then you see them in real life, and they can never compete. They're never the same. But I don't know,
because you can't micromanage them.
Yeah, like go to the toilet, and they're like, no.
Or like they don't bathe, but they do in The Sims. And you realise they're not actually that much of a crush anymore.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like it's such a thing that I enjoy on my own, and I don't know how willing I would be to let someone else in.
That's fair.
I don't know. Yeah.
As far as like features we want to have in The Sims 5, this is something we talked about before too. And I think some of us have actually kind of already gotten our wish list items confirmed. I'm one of them, and I think some things that Katie asked for too. We did a what we want from The Sims 5 before we had any of this information, and I was like, I want create a style back, because I played Sims 1, 2, and I skipped 3. I was in university in real life at the time, and was obsessed with MMOs and was not playing The Sims. And then I came back for The Sims 4. So I missed, and only like last year went back to experience for the first time the Create a Style tool, where you get different swatches for materials on like so many objects. You get to change the color code. There's a hex code color picker. There's like different parts of everything. You can make the wood grain match. You can make the wood grain of everything match. That's a miracle. Oh my goodness. And so in the first Project Renee reveal that we got for The Sims 5, they showed what appears to be the next iteration of the Create a Style tool, changing swatches, patterns, colors, saving those so that you can then use them later or send them to friends, which is going to be great. It's bringing back memories of like Animal Crossing New Horizons, people sharing patterns and things with each other, you know? That's going to be super popular. So the thing I wanted, I know I'm getting. I'm happy. I can be happy for now. What about you guys?
What did you say, Katie?
I think I asked for curved walls that actually work. Because it's not I've been wanting to make a lighthouse for a long time and decorate it properly and make it make sense, with some curvy like staircases, but that hasn't been I haven't been able to do that in The Sims 4. So but I'm desperate for not only that, but like Sims that can do stuff that makes sense. So they were talking about how they're gonna evolve The Sims, how The Sims think and feel, and I'm like, yes, please, better AI. I don't want my Sims to like take their plate out for a run with them, or like brush their teeth on the toilet or something. I don't know if they do that, but I have seen them eating their breakfast while they're on the loo, and I'm like, dude, come on. It's not okay. I want better AI. But yeah, I think that's the main things for me. Oh, the ability to save entire outfits, because we can do saving like collections of furniture, right? Saving that out, is that a thing that we can do?
They have showed that in part of the reveal, yes.
Yes. So if we can like save entire outfits and like reuse them, or like like entire faces of makeup,
Oh my God,
and
yes.
copy and paste them over to your other outfits, so you don't have to go back through all the list and find everything again.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be amazing. That's my main things.
Yes, that is super annoying. Like having to reapply every like piercing and makeup product across every single outfit, but then for some reason, like some categories, like I think swimwear doesn't include all of the facial piercings. You have to like click off, you have to, delete the swimwear tag to get the piercings to show up. And I'm like, I don't take out my nose ring when I go for a swim. This baby is like stuck in my nose. This has been in my nose like since my last one broke in 2018. So this has been in my nose for like 5 years. It is not coming out anytime soon. It is in here. It is staying in here. And I'm not going to be like, oh, let's just go for like a little cheeky swim. And I'm like ripping out all my jewelry. No. So yeah, I agree with that actually. I would really like a better way to just like really common elements across Creator Sim, just be able to easily copy those over. And I think something I really want is I just want better neighborhoods. I am not huge on the neighborhoods in The Sims 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got better, but you have some neighborhoods that have like 3 lots in total. Like some of them are just so
some of the game pack ones that aren't expansions are
like the
very
game
small.
pack ones are like so small, and even some of the other ones, or you might have only 2 free like empty lots in a whole world, in a whole neighborhood. And part of me kind of wants them to bring back the custom world from Sims 2. You know how like you could place all the paths, you could place all like the trees and stuff. Like you could make your whole own neighborhood in The Sims 2, and then you could place the lots anywhere you wanted as well. And I loved that, and I would kind of like something like that to come back, but also something that's I guess a mix between The Sims 4 and The Sims 3, like these really nicely crafted worlds where there's a lot of stuff to do, but also with a little bit more freedom to maybe like place a lot where we want, or to just have a little bit more going on, and less rabbit holes. I don't want a ton of rabbit holes either.
Yeah,
stuff that I really hate.
I'm not big into the rabbit holes either. I appreciated, like, I played a good amount of the werewolves game pack. I don't think it's a full expansion. I think it's a game pack for The Sims 4. And I enjoyed how they incentivized like getting out into the neighborhood and treated it more like this open world thing. That was really nice. But some of the activities were rabbit hole stuff, and I get that it's a simulation of a certain depth, and rabbit holes are how they introduce concepts of storytelling and let you make things happen, even if they're not going to animate all these new actions or create these bespoke new areas. So you get the rabbit holes to fill those gaps in your storytelling. But yeah, I don't care for them either. I'd rather not mess with them, frankly.
I was actually fascinated by them. I remember going on like adventures, like the holiday one. And like going into all these different like little mini game areas, and I was like, this is great. I don't know if there were actual proper rabbit holes in those ones. I feel like because I don't know.
They have something like the careers where you're whisked away to like an instanced area, but then a lot of the rabbit hole stuff is just like, click on this, your sim disappears for like 6 in-game hours.
Yeah.
And then they come back.
There was a few of those where they like chop through the vines, and then the little dialogue things pop up every now and then, like, you run into a monster, what do you do?
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, maybe not that, but that being able to separate all of the different worlds. I really like those like secret areas and stuff. That was always fun.
Yeah. That reminds me what you said, Molly, about jobs, of one of the expansions that I wanted to be like base game for next time. That was another thing. I was like, come on, we gotta have seasons and pets as base game, right? We already know that apartments are going to be part of the base game, which is nice.
Thank
Love
God.
that. Please, I want seasons and pets, but that's such an obvious answer. Everybody wants seasons and pets to be base game. What I also want is to see more of those live jobs like we got in Get to Work, the expansion for The Sims 4, where you actually get to go and you do different activities at work to like perform well. It's and then you eventually get to go home. I really enjoy those. I like getting to go and because nobody likes the part of live mode where your sim goes away for 8 hours and the clock speeds up and they come home and it's dark outside. That is less real than real life, but also too real like real life. It's both at the same time. So I really want more of those active jobs in the base game Sims 5. I would really enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. Me too, actually. I quite enjoyed them, but I like that. I think a few of them, they have the option, right, where you can either go and do everything or you can just
some of them do now, yeah,
send
as
them
part
off
of the base game.
Yeah, so I quite like that as well, but I do like the more interactive jobs. What was that game pack called where you could be like an interior designer? I really enjoyed that.
Dream Home Decorator.
Dream Home Decorator, that's the one. I actually really enjoyed the career in that pack because that was like so interactive and I really, really loved it. But I'm down for more interactive jobs. I think a mix is a good way to go, is having the ones where you can just send them off, especially if you've got like a big family. You don't want to have to micromanage
exactly
all their little jobs, right?
Yeah, that was my thing as well. And I get to the point sometimes where like when you've got like a toddler and they don't get looked after so well and you're like, I wish I could kind of bring my toddler and have like a crash at work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a mixture of like rabbit hole jobs and active jobs would be nice. Please.
Okay, you said base game toddlers, right?
I do want toddlers for the base game. That, I mean, like they exist at IRL. So, I mean, you can't just take away an entire like section of like existence and then put it back in. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Which we now know we are getting in a base game update for The Sims 4. Fine. I mean, here, like near the end of its life cycle, right? And we're getting the Growing Together expansion pack, which by the time people see this, I will have gotten the chance to play at least the demo for it, which it's coming with all of those like babies as proper Sims. You could make them in Create a Sim, do their outfits. They have actual relationships with other Sims. The Growing Together pack has some really cool simulated stuff with the way it uses like sentiments and memories and like likes and dislikes. They all like mash together in this like extreme, nearly strategy sim type way. Like I feel like I'm gonna be clicking on different sims and looking at their likes and dislikes and being like, why did they just have an argument? Like what just happened? Oh, he dislikes sims that are flirty. I had no idea. Like whoops. So that's those two parts together. I hope with you, Katie, that toddlers and babies will be base game also. Please load up the base game. I might be screaming into the void, but you know.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Sims 4 on launch was it was not great from what I recall. There wasn't even pools in The Sims 4, which is like, yeah, that's like been in the game since the first one. And when The Sims 4 launched, there wasn't even a pool tool, which
was The Sims 4 where they didn't have wardrobes? Like in the
did they
base
have
game?
wardrobes?
Or is that Sims 3? I can't remember. But one of them, it was
Sims
like
3.
I was like, why? We've got chest of drawers but no wardrobe, and I don't understand.
God. Yeah, there was no pools, there was no toddlers. Like it just was not a very good base game. Like now I would say the base game is respectable, but it's been like nearly 9 years, I think. It's taken a long time for the base game to be respectable. So I do hope that with The Sims 5, that it's just it's a little better rounded out.
I'm curious about what art style they're going to go with, because obviously right now everything we've seen is so early that even if they have internally finalized an art style, I don't think that's what we're seeing in demos yet. I mean, it still highly resembles The Sims 4, just the way that The Sims 4 really early stuff resembled The Sims 3 still. Because The Sims 3 was like a more realistic art style, and The Sims 4 is like more stylized, more, I don't want to say plasticky, but you know, it like painterly, plasticky, something like that.
It's a little more cartoony.
Yeah, cartoony. There we go. There's a better word for it. So I wonder if they'll push even to like even more stylized in the next sim game. Like if we're gonna get something a little stranger, or if they're gonna pull back into more realistic. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm imagining like large eyes and very, very much more stylized.
Yeah.
Then I'm not sure, because some of the furniture looked very. I was looking at the furniture proportions and I was like, that chair looks kind of realistic size. I don't know. I don't know if that's any indicator of what the Sims are actually going to look like themselves, but you know, I'm like ergonomics.
I think they'll stick with the stylized. I don't know if they'll go more stylized. I think I would like something sort of like a cross between The Sims 2 and The Sims 4. I think they're both kind of balanced-ish. I think The Sims 4 is leaning more towards stylized, and then The Sims 2 is perhaps like a hint of realism. Mm-hmm. I just don't want The Sims 3 back. The Sims 3, like the Sims in that game make me so like viscerally angry. Like they're just so disgusting. You cannot make a Sims 3 sim look good without heaps of custom content. Like they look so bad. I think they'll stick with stylized. I can't see them going like super realistic. I think the stylized aesthetic has really worked for them. So
yeah, maybe they'll stay close to the center. I say it would be cool to get like a more stylized of some kind, whether it's like cartoony or painty, or I don't know what other words to describe like different kinds of slightly less realistic. But then I think about like the modders and how central modding is to the Sims community, and how many people like alpha custom content. They like the highly realistic, polished hairs, the like Barbie doll, well, not Barbie doll, I guess. Just like very realistic, like Second Life type stuff. Also, it's not the style that I prefer in my custom content, but I know so many people do that I feel like they have to leave room for that to be possible for people, knowing how many people are so into that. Like you can't go into like wacko proportions for humans or anything that won't be able to have like new textures slapped on it by modders and be seen as like realistic, right? I feel like there's no way they can do that.
That's a very good point, actually. Like, because I'm not an alpha CC girly. I used to be. I think in The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, when The Sims could look kind of like janky otherwise. But I think The Sims 4 just nailed such like a good aesthetic that Maxis Match CC is just so good now. And I think like alpha is just not my thing anymore. It looks so like juxtaposed with the world and just everything else in that game. Like it just baffles me every time. Like it looks amazing. It looks so good. Like alpha CC creators are built different. Like they're amazing. But I'm just Maxis Match. Like I think they really nailed like a good style with The Sims 4. So I hope that they stay kind of close to that, I guess.
Big question as well is the big boring question: payment model, whether it's going to be a premium game or some other type of payment structure, because The Sims 4 is now free to play and you just pay for the game packs that you want. And I'm wondering if they're setting up to go free to play base game with The Sims 5, and then just sell you expansions, DLCs. Like, are they going to have a day one expansion pack for The Sims 4 and do free base game day one expansion for you to add in something? I don't know. There's no way.
I'm not saying anything. I'm scared. I don't want to.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't speak it into existence. I'm also wondering if they go with some kind of subscription thing. Like, they have EA Play Pro, and I'm wondering if you get like either like Elder Scrolls Online works this way. You can buy the expansions and have them permanently, or if you are a subscriber, if you are a subscription person, you get like all the other subscription benefits. There are certain things that you can't do on like base game Elder Scrolls Online, but you also, while you are subscribed, have access to all of the DLCs. And then they're revoked if you like lapse your subscription, and you can pick it back up again, whatever. And I'm wondering if they might do something like that where you can buy them permanently, or you can be a subscriber to have all of them that exist while you're subscribed to like EA Play Pro.
You're saying so many stressful things right now.
I'm sorry.
You're making this not fun. You're making the thought of The Sims 5 not fun. I don't know. Like I'm not super jazzed about the monetization model for The Sims right now anyway, especially since the introduction of kits. Like, kits have just really
I know you dislike kits.
Yeah, I am not a kit person at all. It's really soured my desire to collect all the packs, I guess, because, you know, at least a stuff pack, you were paying like what, like £12, like $12-15, something like that, and you were getting like decent amount of cast stuff or build stuff. But as they were making more stuff packs, I noticed that they were putting like a little more in them, and stuff packs started to feel like they were actually worth their value. And then paranormal stuff came out, and that was so good. That was like one of the best stuff packs. And then they just stopped making stuff packs and started making kits. And so like I'm not super jazzed about it right now. I don't really like the whole having to pay, you know, $30-40 every few months for like extra furniture and gameplay. Like, I don't like that, but I also do not like the idea of subscriptions, and I do not like the idea of like a free to play with a very heavily monetized strategy, because I mean, like, they monetize the fuck out of these games anyway, and I can't imagine them doing it any better, but I really can't imagine how they could make it any worse either.
Yeah, I don't think I want a subscription. Like, that is not what I want. But I think it might be on the table. It's extremely possible.
Lord.
Anyway, I'll put the not fun stuff away. I'm sorry. I just wanted to think about it briefly.
Don't stop.
What else do we have? Art style, free to play. I guess like cross-platform and multiplayer stuff still. We've been shown like there's two parts of the equation with multiplayer and with cross-platform play. There's what you'll be able to do on each device, because they've made it sound like the experience will be slightly different. Like, mobile will be optimized for mobile, and that like maybe you won't be doing as much heavy editing. You won't have all of the options on mobile that you have on desktop. And then I'm very curious about the just multiplayer generally, actually, I guess. We've seen hints of what build buy mode looks like, but will there be live mode co-op? Like, we have not heard anything said about it, but and it's not an MMO, but will you be able to like co-op families, right? Co-op control of different Sims in a family in live mode at one time. No.
You're just
Mollie.
saying more things that I hate. Even more.
I'm so sorry.
Everything that's coming out of your mouth right now, I hate it.
You wouldn't want to do live mode together. You wouldn't want to control two Sims at once.
No, I want to be squirreled away in my little dark lady lair, like making people that I vaguely know, and like no one else needs to know what I do in The Sims.
Sims is goblin mode time. No one can witness what you're doing in The Sims.
It is goblin mode time, and I refuse. Like, you cannot waterboard like what I do in The Sims out of me. No way in hell can you even for a second. I mean, I said a little bit. Okay, you waterboarded some of it out of me. You cannot get the rest of what I get up to in The Sims out of me. Like, I don't even get up to anything that bad. But I just no. It's like it's my game. It is my game, and it's nobody else's game, and you're not allowed. So
I think
away.
Mollie's the gardener among us now, digging herself a hole. But yeah, I'm actually, yeah, I would be okay with playing. I used to play multiplayer with my sister on the Sims. I think it's The Sims 2 or something. And yeah, it was actually not so bad. But then I also didn't know anything about anything, and I would just place random things, and then she would wait till I left and then change it all around. Anyway, so yeah, I was the annoying one. You'd probably give me like a fake controller. So me and Mollie won't be playing together. That's for sure.
I would dabble in some co-op live mode. I'm not a live mode person, but the things they're doing with some of the simulation stuff we're getting in this next Sims 4 update, things that I hope will be in the Sims 5, I'm like, I don't know. It could be kind of fun. Like, I have a friend who we will play the Sims 4 at the same time, and we'll be sitting in Discord and we'll share our screens, so we're both watching what each other are doing, like together but separate. And I'm like, do we want to be actually co-op together? Like, is it like, do we want to make a family and like, and you know, you're either two college students who are roommates, or you are the parents and you're trying to raise 10 children, and that in like 100 baby challenge has a whole new meaning of like, now you are co-op 100 baby challenge, not babies together necessarily, unless you want to, I guess. But I just mean co-op childcare, trying to raise 100 baby challenge. I think it could be fun with the right friends. Some people you won't co-op with. Just like every kind of game. Some people you don't co-op with.
Very true. I feel like if you're trying to write a novel with somebody, though, do you know what I mean? I feel like it's like the equivalent of like going to a friend and say, hey, you want to write a novel together? And then you want the story to go one way and they want it to go the other way. I think like maybe if, I don't know how I would want it to work if you could co-op live mode. Like, I would try it. I would probably like it more than I'm letting on right now. But I just don't know how I would want it to go. I don't know.
I think I like the idea of like starting a band with my buddies, just being like, yeah, like you come and play the piano, we'll set up a gig or something. I'll play the guitar, you can sing, and we'll click the button at the same time and see if we can make it work. Which I think
you're turning it into an MMO. Yeah. This sounds like literally the stuff you get up to in MMOs when, like, you know, some MMOs have like / command syncing, where everybody goes to the hub area, and if you / dance at the same time, it'll sync you up. The original Guild Wars had that if you did it right.
Nice.
And then others, you have to like time it really carefully to actually like get your animations together.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just play Final Fantasy 14. They have instruments in that game. They have whole bands that tour across servers and play stuff. So you should just play Final Fantasy.
Maybe I will. Maybe that's my new thing. If The Sims doesn't have it,
we're gonna find a way for Mollie to evangelize Final Fantasy 14 in every conversation we have. 100%. For sure.
Yes, it's my life's goal. I haven't even played that game for like a month, but it is still my life's goal to make everyone else think about it and play it.
Okay, what about mobile? What about like not at your PC play? Because Mollie, that's a thing you wanted to do this year, and The Sims 5 is not coming this year. But I'm just thinking about like The Sims is back on Steam. The Sims 4 is. It was not there for a long time. So we're thinking like Steam Deck Sims, first of all, when we eventually get there. And then also having their native mobile app too. Like what all are we going to be able to do on mobile? Like I wonder how much they're going to restrict that, like what you're capable of.
I wonder if it'll be kind of like, I think it'll be, I don't know, maybe I think was it Animal Crossing New Horizons where you could like get different QR codes and stuff on like the Nintendo Switch app. I think there was like a way that you could use like the design QR code stuff on that app, if I remember correctly. Something like that I think would be good on mobile, just being able to share like creator style stuff. And maybe like I don't know, but I don't think it'll be that involved on mobile. But
You
on
don't
Steam
think?
Deck. No, I don't think so. But on Steam Deck I think it would be quite fun.
I feel like you'll at least be able, I feel like what we've seen of them demoing the mobile stuff with PC together, like you've at least got like furniture editing, build mode editing, but maybe not as advanced. Like maybe you don't have full creative style tools. Maybe you don't have, I don't know, other like full bits of the interface, right? That's one of the hardest parts of going down to mobile is making sure that your interface is still like you can get to all of it on a mobile device. Yeah. I'm just so curious if it's going to be a companion app type experience like you're describing, Molly. If it's like you, while you're on the go, you can still do some little things. You can put together little furniture bits. You can download stuff from the gallery for later. And then when you get home, you play like the real game, right? Or if it's more trying to fit the whole real game on your phone as much as they can.
That's a hard one. Definitely, like you're going to be restricted because I'm sure not every single player is going to have the bestest phone in the world. So you're going to be restricted with that. But like, yeah, being able to take like creative styles, like, I've got this like really nice living room that I'm designing, and I just need the perfect sofa. I'm going to go sit on my sofa and watch a movie while I design the perfect sofa, and then jam it into my game when I come back. That sounds like a good plan. I like that.
Yeah, that would be nice. That maybe I would watch more TV if I could play games better while watching television. One of the other things is the gallery experience. They've only slightly alluded to improving that because obviously right now in The Sims 4, the gallery is like, ha ha ha, good luck finding or downloading anything. It's not fantastic. So like obviously better search functions, like better like a tagging system, like all of these things, it would be nice to be better. But I would hope that we can share more kinds of things in a gallery like experience. Like I don't want to just share my creative style stuff. Like yes, I want to share the cool couch I made. Yes, I want to share the sim I made that looks like Ciri from The Witcher so that you can all use her. All that stuff. But I also want to be able to share things like rule sets. Like they've started dabbling in the base game Sims 4 with challenges. Like the community has long had challenges that are just full of self-imposed rules, right? And they've started dabbling in they don't call them challenges. What do they call them? Scenarios. That's it. They actually impose those rules externally, right? So you have to follow them. That's the whole point. So you aren't just like making it up on the fly. I hope it would be very cool. This is maybe a little too out there and maybe too much to ask for, but it would be really cool if we could play with rules like that, with game constraints, and share those as community challenges. Like, yeah, I've made this set of game rules where you have to start with this much money and you have to be on this lot and you have to, I don't know, you can't have XYZ job and your sim is, any number of things. I hope we can share stuff like that because that's a huge part of the community that's just totally ad hoc. Like it's just personal buy and like I'm going to participate in this challenge. I'm going to follow the rules. There's no way to like share it more than like word of mouth and YouTube videos, right? That's how it all goes around.
Yeah, a single click to just get the new challenge. You don't have to read through a whole bunch of
setup rules.
A bunch of setup rules and all that kind of stuff. That'd be really good. I would enjoy that. That would be very much.
That'd be really cool.
Also, I'm lazy.
True, me too.
That's why we want to download other people's furniture.
Yes.
Sometimes I want to make my own, and other times I just want to shop around, just want to scroll and be like, no, that's perfect. That's the one I want. Thank you. What about generations? Mollie, you mentioned generations, and I don't remember because I'm not a live mode person, so maybe you don't know the answer to this off the top of your head either, but what tools do we not have in The Sims 4 that we had in other Sims games for like tracking families?
That's a good question. Oh my god. I think
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
No, it's fine. They've slowly put stuff from generations in like different packs or in base games. So like I think bunk beds was like a big feature of generations in The Sims 3 that we did not have in The Sims 4 for a while. But I think was the upcoming expansion called Growing Together?
Growing Together. Mm-hmm.
I think that is the generations of The Sims 4. So
yeah,
I think just having more fleshed out ages across the board is something that I just really want in the base game. And bunk beds. Bunk beds can be in the base game too.
Bunk beds, curved stairs, curved walls.
That work good. That aren't janky.
One thing we have not talked about this time that I think we did touch on last time we talked about all this was Paralives. Do we want to talk about Paralives at all?
Talk about Paralives. I have been a bit out of the loop with Paralives now, but I like what they're doing. Very much so. I don't know if it will replace The Sims 4, but I think it'll be damn good to try.
Yeah, be a nice like little alternative. I don't think it's going to be as fleshed out because it's taking a while as it is. Obviously, it's a much smaller team.
And they're developing on like a Patreon format, right? Okay.
So we have to cut them some slack, but it's like beautiful. I just caught one of the more recent videos of them like designing a little QE cottage cozy thing, and I was like, this is great. I love it.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of stuff. It wants more stuff.
It does have a pretty ambitious build mode from the things that I've seen of it. I've not been involved in playing at all. I don't even remember. You probably have to be a patron, excuse me. But I love what I've seen of the build mode. I love first of all, it has curved walls. Second of all, I love the, I guess, not modular, but like context aware ways that you can edit objects. Like I've seen them do like those little demos of like you have a table lamp and you drag it up and now it's a floor lamp. You have a window, you drag it to the side and now it's a bigger window. You can like move things around and they become other things, which is very nice. It's the kind of stuff I feel like we're seeing in some of those like little cozy builders that we're all very excited about, like Tiny Glade. We've seen like in Townscaper, like I guess I'm talking off the top of my head at this point, but like procedurally handled like changing of the object model. That stuff in Paralives has been very cool to see, and I don't know that we're going to get anything like that in The Sims 5. I don't really have high hopes, but I'm generally glad that it's going to exist, even if it's a small team and there are things about it that won't be as ambitious, probably because of that. The Sims has not had a legitimate competitor in ever? Question mark? Ever? Really?
Not that I can recall.
Because there are things that people who like Sims also play. They also play Animal Crossing. They also play Stardew, but those are not direct competitors. They have similar vibes with people who like to go build stuff and do little life sim things. And so I'm really glad that Paralives is going to be some kind of competition, like some kind of alternative to The Sims 4 that can push at it from the edges a little bit. I think that's going to be great.
100%. I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. Yeah, I want to build in that game so bad, so I'm excited.
Yeah. And as for The Sims 5 itself, we know that they are in very early days playtesting. That's what they've called it. So some people are hands-on with the next Sims game, just the build and the buy mode right now, from what I remember, and like a pretty pared down version of it, I think is what they are testing. And they keep telling us it's years away. So it is not going to be a 2023 or 4 game, maybe a 2025 game. Like, this is a long road ahead yet. We still have more Sims 4 expansions and base game updates that we're going to get through before we get to the Sims 5.
But I just moved house and I need to redesign it, and it's all janky, awkward sizes, and it doesn't work in The Sims 4.
Oh no!
Hurry up!
I remember trying to like make the house I grew up in like The Sims 1 way back in the day, and like, oh my gosh, good luck. Like, I don't think there were laundry machines in The Sims 1 ever. Maybe they were an expansion I didn't own. But I always remember the laundry room being like a big issue. It's like, what do I do? I have to make this empty room. I can't put anything in it.
Just like units, and that's it.
Yeah.
A chair.
That's where we're at with Sims 5. That's what we know. That's what we want. What we demand. Demand is a strong word. What we really, really hope for in The Sims 5. Please. Seasons. Pets. Curved walls.
Yes.
And maybe some co-op building and live mode. Maybe. Not for Mollie. For everybody except Mollie.
Stay away from my Sims. Let me be a little chaos goblin in peace.
Beautiful. Do we have anything else on The Sims 5? Katie? Mollie?
No.
I just want to hear what everybody else wants. Let us know, because your opinions are important to us.
Dang, that's
I
it.
want to nerd out with people, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
All right, I'm ready. Ready to see more of Sims 5 in development. Ready to see more of Paralives too. I wanted to make sure we acknowledged we know Paralives exists. Like, we are also thinking about that. Yeah. Years away. Someday we'll play it. And in the meantime, we'll be here playing with the new babies, finally, in The Sims 4.
Awesome.
Farewell. Bye.
Bye.